It's MoobsCast. We're celebrating Extreme Rules, and guess what? I got a guest with me, and I'm going to give him the best entrance I could possibly give him. So hyped up. His name is BigBste. He's a bona fide G, and you can't teach that. He's a very good friend of mine. Welcome along, BigBste.
Hey-o!
How we doing?
That's good.
Nice. Now, obviously I had a guest on before. You're like the new trial, shall we say, with the old Skype machine and everything, microphone. Okay? Anyway, before we go into wrestling, which is what we're here to talk about, I want to talk about a few other stuff. Now, what kind of brother and really good friend would I be if we didn't talk about what you... So, Steve, you are a streamer on Twitch TV, is that...
I am indeed I am, yes.
Tell the people what sort of stuff you like to play, what you're all about and things like that. I know, but tell them.
Okay, so basically, I'm a part-time streamer. Just looking.
Great streamer, may I add?
Pay you later. So yeah, I'm what you call a variety streamer. I don't stick to one game. I stream many different games on many different platforms. So I do PC, Xbox One, and PS4.
Let's not talk. That's a swear word.
Oh.
Because I'm not allowed one. Well, I am allowed one, but you know.
You got to give up the Xbox.
So you do YouTube as well. Now we all hang out with each other. Me, you, Cornish. You know, we all support each other. We do everything we can. So basically, everybody who's watching this, who's into games, everybody who's into streaming and all that kind of thing, if you're a member of Twitch TV, please check out BigBste. I'll post a link in the comments to his YouTube, and I'll post a link to his Twitch channel. So please drop him a follow. He's amazing. He's hilarious. And honestly, you couldn't ask for a better guy. If you're getting into streaming as well and you want some advice, come and see him. Honestly, seriously, he's helped me out millions. Him and Cornish helped me out so much. So please check them out. So
I like to help my friends.
Well, you know. So anyway, let's get on to it. So did you watch the pre-show?
I did.
I didn't think it was bad. Now,
yeah, I didn't think it was good either.
No, I don't think Extreme Rules. I think... I'm going to put it in a football match. The first half was absolutely terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second half was like, sweet.
Yeah. I was telling you earlier, I was literally falling asleep until the IC match came on, and then I was like, whoa!
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the thing was, I can understand why they brought Big Cass out, because obviously, with Enzo, but obviously the storyline should be Enzo and Cash versus the Dudleys, but with what happened to Enzo... You know, they're obviously giving him a break, getting him right. So they've got to find a way of keeping Enzo and the Dudleys going. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm big on Enzo and Cash. I think they're absolutely brilliant. I don't think Cass is the best mic worker, but I tell you what, he's improved.
Right, okay. See, I don't get to see Raw. So the only chance I get to see Raw is through your podcast.
Oh, dude, I'll pay you later.
Yeah. But yeah, that's exactly it. I watch WWE on the network, which is like
for $9.99.
But yeah, that's all I can watch it on, because I'm too poor for Sky.
Well, yeah, this is very true. You know, but anybody who wants to donate to his Twitch stream when you join, you know, he needs Sky. Let's start a movement. Get Steve Sky. But no, I didn't think the pre-show was. I didn't think it was awful. I thought it was okay.
Right.
I thought Corbin. They didn't. I don't think he shined, but the right result was there for his career.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I don't understand why Ziggler won at Payback.
Yeah. I don't. Right. For me. Corbin is... I'm thinking he's like the next Brock Lesnar. I think he's getting modeled up, made up to be like the next beast incarnate, so to speak.
Yeah.
And that match just made him look so ordinary.
Yeah.
that's just my opinion. They might not even be doing that, but
No, but I
for
agree.
his
I
sake,
agree with you. I mean, Corbin's looked brilliant. I wasn't a Corbin fan in NXT. I don't think, or the bits I don't get to watch NXT as much as I'd like to watch it. I get to just get a breathe for catch up on what's happened. But the bits I have seen, I wasn't a big fan of Corbin. But then they brought him up, and it's kind of like boom, it's like happened for him.
yeah,
And I think every match he's had with Ziggler and whoever else he's fought since he's been there, he's looked really good. But last night it was a no DQ match, but it didn't feel like it was. It just felt like it was just a normal match.
a normal match. Yeah, there's a few matches I felt was like that.
Yeah, definitely. But at least Corbin won, so hopefully now that's done, and we can start seeing the Lone Wolf taking on a few, bigger guys and things like that. I'm going to go into the next pay-per-view a bit later, but what do you think to Corbin possibly being up for Money in the Bank briefcase?
I would like to see that.
Yeah,
I really would. Like I said, they've bigged him up on the Andre the Giant Memorial. At the Royal Rumble, WrestleMania.
yeah.
And it just seems like they're giving him that push.
The platform, yeah. Well, we'll come up with some names later because I've got a few ideas with them as well. But we'll come up with names for them later. So anyway, we'll start off the Extreme Rules starting open now. As we say, the first half, my opinion, and well, we both pretty much said it. The first half was pretty poor.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Gallows and Anderson, but I don't think them and the Usos really shined.
See, I thought it was. For me, it was just a Raw match. It was an okay match.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Again, it was nothing special for Extreme Rules, were it?
Yeah. You would think like a pay-per-view event, everyone wants to steal that spotlight.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. It didn't feel like that. It felt like no one wanted to be there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I did you notice the sort of the reception? Bearing in mind, in theory, technically, the Usos are the good guys, and the club is the bad guys. Did you hear the boos the Usos got?
It was crazy, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about Roman later, but him and the Usos, it was the loudest boos I've heard for a long time.
Do you think they're getting booed because they're getting pushed on with Roman?
I think they're getting, possibly, I think it's more they're getting booed because they're being associated with.
That's what I meant, yeah.
Yeah. Because the thing is, as well, is you don't see them going back into the tag title picture anytime soon.
I can't picture them with the belts.
No, I can't. To be fair, I can't really picture anybody with belts, bar maybe Enzo and Cash, and they've got to come up with a really good heel tag team. But yeah, the Usos. I mean, the match was all right. There was nothing to write home about. Like you said, it was a Raw match.
Yeah. And
it really was. And there's no other way. I mean, there's no point even talking much more about it because there wasn't much to talk about.
Yeah, it was. I felt like if the the club, was gonna come in and like make a name for themselves.
Yeah,
I felt it was that time to do it.
Yeah, definitely.
And they didn't pull it off for me.
No.
For me, they didn't.
No, I think the right tag team won again though, because I think there's bigger things going to happen with the club now. I'm just. Obviously, the rumours are everybody's talking about Balor being called up and he's going to reform the Bullet Club or the Balor Club, whichever they decide to call it. Obviously, Is it Nakamura, the guy in NXT? He's part of that as well.
Yeah.
Maybe tonight we may see what's happening with AJ next. I don't know. But I've always been a big believer of, well, I hope when they bring Balor up, it'll be a case that Balor will screw AJ and obviously him and the club will be stood in the middle of the ring and say, listen, you took this over after me. You know what I mean? That's where I'm hoping they're going to go with it.
Backstabbing.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So anyway, move on to the next match. Another complete waste of time. And it really was Rusev versus Kalisto. Seriously. You talk about it because I don't know what to say about
that. I made little notes.
C-, D-.
Kalisto versus Rusev. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. Did you see in the interview? His accent just like,
Yeah,
screw my accent.
yeah. Did you notice that as well when he was doing the stuff on the pre-show?
Yeah,
It was like Bulgarian with a bit of Uso chucked in there.
Yeah, I was like,
Because that's where he came from, isn't he? He's
from Bulgaria, yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's one of Rikishi's lads. Rikishi,
Oh,
yeah, he came through Rikishi's. He's like grown up with the Usos and Roman and everything. He's part of Rikishi's little.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah. Do you know what? I didn't until not the last year's WrestleMania, the year before, when Rikishi was in the Hall of Fame. He said about being a proud father to the Usos. He also mentioned, I can't remember the exact words, but it was something like, "I'm so proud of Honorary Uso Rusev." And I was reading up on it, and basically, Rikishi had sort of took him under his wing and taught him the trade, sort of thing.
Okay, maybe he went to his school of wrestling or something.
Yeah, I'm assuming so. But yeah, I noticed that with his accent, it was like Bulgarian with a bit of Uso.
Yeah, I was like, what's going on? Is he just
Next
like
thing you'll hear Lana
going,
going, you'll hear Lana being like, "We're from Russia, but we're going about there."
From Canada, eh?
Hey. Yeah, no, that was very poor. Unless they're trying to phase out his accent, I don't know. But that was really bad.
Yeah.
So anyway,
yeah, that's
go on. You talk about Rusev because I've got nothing to say about. Honestly, I quite like Rusev. I'm hoping they're going to give him better. I quite like Kalisto, but I don't think this run's been a big success for him.
I feel what's the deal with him and Sin Cara?
Well, it was one of them that obviously they were in the tag scene. Sin Cara got injured, so they decided to give Kalisto a bit of a crack, and obviously he won the US title. Now I'm thinking he was supposed to drop it to Ryback because of what's happened.
Ryback's contract.
Yeah, because Ryback's a mardy ass little bitch who doesn't want to realise what in a lucky situation he's in. They've kind of gone, what should we do? Let's stick it back on Rusev. But yeah. I thought the match was poor.
They've done that for John Cena coming back.
Yeah, I thought that as well. We've Cena winning it at Mania, but surely not again.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. They can't.
See, Cena's next week, isn't he? And there's so many different things. I thought Cena could have been in the number one contenders chance for the title, but after what happened, obviously, surely that's not going to happen. So I'm kind of torn on what they're going to do with Cena now.
Hopefully, they just like stick him on the sidelines.
Let's go, Cena!
Cena sucks.
Anyway, Rusev, I thought the match was terrible. I thought it was slow paced. I thought Kalisto tried but didn't really do anything. I thought Rusev looked a bit crap, and Rusev won and whoop-de-doo.
Kalisto's bendy there.
Very, yeah. Let's give a good point for all the people out there watching this on YouTube. If you didn't know, Kalisto is bendy. Anyway, New Day versus Vaudevillains. Now, obviously, the New Day, in my opinion, are over with the fans. There is nobody as hot as the New Day.
Right.
And
I agree. 100%.
I love them. I absolutely love them. I think they're great. I thought
every time I see him, I'm in stitches.
I thought the promo last Monday on Raw was hilarious.
From what I heard of it from yours.
Yeah. Dude, seriously, brilliant. Get on YouTube and watch it. It's hilarious. I was laid in bed with my wife at the side of me with headphones in, like watching Monday Night Raw, and then they started doing the promo, and I'm just sat there going. And then the next morning I gets up and my wife's just like, "What was you watching last night?" Because you was like sniggering and laughing, but you were trying not to laugh. I'm like, I didn't want to wake you up.
I was watching the build up to the match, and they were showing it. You,
bygone era and all that stuff. Oh, it was hilarious. I did think that was a decent match with it. I thought Woods looked really good because he doesn't wrestle very often, Xavier Woods. And I did worry they was going to put the title on because they, like I say, they need a heel tag team. The Vaudevillains are not. The fans are slowly taking to them, but they're not.
I don't know. For me, it feels like WWE's taking a step back from where they were going.
Yeah.
You know, when they said, right, okay, we gone from the the pig farmers and the clowns and all that, and we've moved on to the Attitude Era,
Yeah.
and now we're real, and now they've just gone back to
Yeah.
circus.
See, now I've always been a massive tag team fan.
Mm-hmm.
And up until bringing like the Lucha Dragons, Enzo Cash, bringing the Dudleys back, all this current tag team, I thought the tag team division was the worst it's ever been.
Right.
I can't remember who it was who said it. I think it might have even been Triple H who said it. At one point, they were just creating tag teams just because they wanted to keep the division going.
I seen something like a few weeks back on like a past Raw where they had like Goldust and who was it?
Was it Truth, Fandango, or Breeze?
Truth.
Yeah.
Truth and Goldust or somewhere. I'm like, what?
Yeah, they've done a storyline which didn't interest me at all. Where Goldust was trying to get trying to get Truth. Truth wasn't interested. Then they fell out. So then Truth wanted Goldust. He then wasn't interested. So then they got Fandango involved. Then they got and now we have Golden Truth and Breezango.
Brilliant.
Yeah, but yet you've got quality tag teams. Plus you've got a decent few tag teams still left in NXT. But I thought they was getting somewhere with the tag team division. But I don't know. I have noticed an improvement since the Dudleys have come back, though.
Oh, they've got to. Yeah, Dudley's. They're gonna make you step up your game, aren't they?
Exactly. I mean, I don't know if you saw the podcast that Edge and Christian did with Stone Cold, but he asked him about the current state of the tag division, and Edge basically said awful. He says they don't wrestle like tag teams. They don't do the basics like when you keep, you fight and you keep them in a corner and then you do the jump over to tag your partner. They were saying they don't do any of that. And then they brought the Dudleys back literally like a week, 2 weeks later, and all of a sudden they started wrestling like Edge and Christian, like the Dudleys, like like they used to back in the day. Yeah. So, but anyway, I'm glad New Day kept it. I don't want them to lose it yet.
I think they've got a good way to go with the old. Sorry, I'm getting off topic, but thing is Hadouken. What's his name? Xavier.
Yeah.
Pulls out the Hadouken.
I just love him. I think more than anything, even if Xavier Woods was to leave the New Day and leave Kofi and Big E, it'd flop.
Yeah.
For me, they're the talent wrestler. I think Xavier's talented, don't get me wrong, but obviously Vince likes Big E and Kofi, which is why they're usually the ones that wrestle. But it's like they're the wrestling talent and he's the mic talent.
Yeah, he's got the charisma.
I hope when they've done.
Kofi didn't really make it on his own.
Exactly. Yeah, I hope when they do, because obviously eventually they're going to disband them. I hope Xavier gets a crack. So, anyway, that's that half. The first half of Extreme is over. That was the shit half.
Then we come into the.
Then we come into the second half where things got a lot better. So
literally, right? It wasn't. I think I actually did fall asleep until I must have woke up on the bell ringing.
Right.
I was like half sleeping. I can't even remember the Miz coming down.
Put it this way, I was sat where I'm sat right now with Extreme Rules on the laptop, and I was playing FIFA on my TV screen. And then as soon as that was over, and because I was the IC title was the match of the night for me. I'm big on Kevin Owens, Cesaro, Zayn. I'm not big on Miz, but I'm big on that current because they're going to be the ones that step up and eventually take over. I mean, Kevin Owens I just think he's something special. And I think Sami Zayn's probably the same as well. But yeah, it was like as soon as that started, the TV went off and the laptop became the center of attention.
For me, that stole the show.
Yeah.
The IC, it was just perfect.
It was. I mean, some of the moves they were doing, the way that, I mean, when Cesaro had three of them in a corner and was going around each one, doing the uppercuts in each corner. You got Owens doing the cannonball. You got Zayn. I mean, what a way to start the match off. The bell rings and Sami Zayn boots Kevin Owens in the face and knocks him out of the ring. And then stands there as if saying, "You're out."
Yeah.
I was just like...
It was one of them. It woke me up, and I think I woke my missus up as well.
You in the doghouse?
No, I'm not in the doghouse. I'm just. I was a bit fidgety when that was on.
Yeah, same here. Same. I learned it a long time ago. When I watch a pay-per-view, watch it over on my desk. But no, it was. Honestly, I don't think no match came anywhere near it. I thought all four looked good. I'm disappointed in the outcome though. Because I think for me,
tell you the truth, the outcome, I wasn't bothered with the outcome. I just thought that match was just it just did it for me.
yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
It would have been nice for Kevin Owens or Zayn to get it, or even Cesaro.
I always believed, I said on the last podcast, I don't think they could put it on Owens because I think Owens is going to start building up now. I think he's had the run, mid-card run, and I think he's slowly going to start. I think he's my pick for Money in the Bank, if I'm honest.
Right.
I just think they're going to start pushing him now towards...
Yeah, he deserves that.
Yeah. I think the fact that his loyal fans have followed him, he's picked up a load of new fans like me. I'd never watched Owens before he came to WWE. I'd heard about him, but I'd never really watched him. But then because he's a heel, he's also hated by the others as well. So it's kind of like he's got the fan base that he brought with him to sell. He's got new fans which he can sell merchandise, and he's a heel, which means they're all going to boo him.
Right.
Exactly. But I would have done Zayn or Cesaro for me. They'd have been my two. Yeah,
that's what I mean. Miz keeping it is after that match. I didn't feel disappointed. It would, like I said, if Zayn picked it up or Owens or even Cesaro, it would have been great. But I don't know. It just.
I've got to be honest. I was just disappointed on the fact that the other three have got buzzers and the Miz is just the Miz.
I don't know. I don't think the Miz has ever had anything about him apart from when he had when
he beat Cena with title. Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. I think there's a lot more to go from. I think there's probably still some more future in Cesaro versus Miz, though.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm thinking as well. Maybe they're keeping that so they can have like a feud with either Zayn or Cesaro.
Yeah.
And then put it on one of them too.
Yeah. That's probably I'd go with that one. So, but no, brilliant match. Honestly, 10 out of 10. In fact, no, I'll give it a 9 out of 10 purely because Miz walked away with the title. They lose a point purely for the Miz. In fact, I tell you what, let's be completely honest. Out of 10, I'd give it 99. 1 is for the Miz walking away with the title. It really was. Exactly. Honestly, loved every second of that match.
That's what I'm saying. It was. I wasn't I wasn't too upset with the outcome.
Yeah.
Because I do believe there's going to be a better thing coming out of it.
Yeah.
From
true.
Either Cesaro or Zayn.
Yeah, true. Oh, well,
I'm hoping.
Fingers crossed, yeah. Anyway, who we got next? Ambrose, Y2J. Now, I was looking forward to that. Because I thought it's a new match. Great. Was it just me, or was the fans bored?
Yeah.
There was no atmosphere, was there?
It was a good match. I don't know. After following the IC title, that was a tough act to follow.
Yeah.
I think it literally, for me, it picked up when Jericho went into the tax.
Yeah, as soon as Ambrose got them tacks out, it's like the crowd went, "Hey up, this could get good here. Let's watch this. We were going for a piss a minute ago, but we'll watch this now."
Yeah, that's how I felt watching it.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good match. The 2x4 with the barbed wire that didn't get put to good use.
No. Neither did the fire extinguisher. I mean, what was the other thing? The mop. I did like where he mopped him in the face. When he got the mop and just went all over the face.
That Jericho was like dry heaving after it.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. But now I don't know what they'll do with that now. I mean, what they're going to do with Ambrose now.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Surely that's Jericho done for a little bit now. And plus, they're not going to keep that going, surely.
they can't. What they got to. I heard something from Dusty Rhodes a long time ago. Where's the money?
Yeah.
And that is where's the money getting made from that? They can't keep putting that on.
Yeah. No, exactly. It's not a seller.
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't like pay to go and watch that.
yeah, I don't think, if I'm totally honest, maybe New Day and Vaudevillains, and like you say, Miz and Cesaro and Owens and Zayn, I wouldn't keep any other feud going.
Yeah.
I'd be starting some new ones off now and getting it a bit more sort of, I mean, the thing is as well is I remember reading last year, Vince was saying about the big 4 pay-per-views, which is obviously Rumble, Mania, Survivor Series, and SummerSlam. Well, do you know actually Survivor Series isn't a big 4 anymore now?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's kind of like fell off the way.
Yeah, it's like because they used to do the traditionals when we was kids, and we used to like seeing it because you'd see teams that you'd never see before. Yeah. But whereas now, Money in the Bank is officially, from a franchise and from a viewing point of view, one of the big 4 now. So they're obviously going to come up with a load of new stuff ready for Money in the Bank.
Are they still doing Elimination Chamber? I haven't.
They've knocked the pay-per-view on the head, but the last time they had it was a network special.
Oh, okay.
Just because, I mean, again, they had all the chance in that, and for me, they just didn't sort of. Maybe every year was just too much. And it was obviously at the time that
it's taken a lot on the stars as well.
Exactly, really. They'd got 2 title belts, so they're having 2 of them, and I think people just got bored of it in the end.
Right.
But yeah. So anyway, Ambrose wins. Good result. It was obviously going to be the result. I think we've probably seen the last Jericho for 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's going on tour with Fozzy.
With Fozzy again. Yeah, he'll be off. He'll come back with a new tattoo under his arm again soon. Yeah. So Natalya versus Charlotte. Oh. Now, what's your opinion on the women's division? Let's call it the women's division because we're on. Are you a women's? Was you a Divas fan before they rebranded it?
To a point.
Right. Are you liking this women's division?
Yes, and that last night's match was just like put it on a downside for me. I mean, it was getting. I felt it was getting really good. I was getting really into I was starting to get really into the women's wrestling. Yeah. Because they were pulling it out and doing all this stuff, and I don't know. Last night. Let me try and sum up what I think you're trying to say, because I've said this. Right. I used to be a women's division fan back with Lita and Trish and that kind of era. This last era they've had, this Divas division of Brie Bella, Natalya, Alicia Fox, all them you can name, they couldn't sell. Nobody was interested in, which is why they've rebranded the Divas division back to the women's. The problem is people got hyped on the women's division because of Charlotte, Becky, Sasha, Dana, Emma, and Paige, and what have you. But yeah, they put Natalya in this new era. They put Natalya in, who was part of the era that couldn't sell. I think she's just whinging. I think all she's doing is whinging. I feel like she's probably the oldest one there. And she's saying to Vince, come on, I've stood by you through all this, give me a chance. Yeah. I think that's the only reason she's got that. I mean, after watching on like the thing, the screw job thing, I was like, what the? So why would you bring all this? The daft thing is, whoever's decision that is, and this is what me and Craig said on the last pay-per-view podcast that we was on. Whoever's decision that is, I hope they was either fired or sat in a very dark room with their head in their hands saying, why did I have to bring something like that back up? I think they started working for TNA now anyways. There you go. Maybe they were from TNA and now they've gone back. They probably it was awful. Why? Yes, it's one of the most historic stories to ever happen, which I always believe is a work.
I don't believe there was ever a screw job. It was Vince's way of him and Bret got together and said, "What's the best way to get rid of Bret Hart?" You know, because he'd already decided he was going to WCW because Vince admitted he couldn't do anything with him. I've always said the Montreal screw job was a work. It was not a con.
Really?
Yeah, I've always believed it. I've always believed it. Nothing happens without Vince McMahon say so. And Vince McMahon during that era was coming up with fantastic new ideas on how to sell it. What better way to sell it? And also the fact that him and Bret was really, really close.
Yeah.
What better way to sell Bret Hart than to make it look like he's been screwed over?
Because like I remember watching. I think it was either Raw or Superstars after.
I think it was
He
Raw.
had a freaking shiner where obviously Bret fucking twatted him. Sorry, swearing.
No, you're fine. I don't know. I've always been in the work column. I know loads of people who disagree with me. It's just me. I just think I've seen enough of Vince and think I know he would do that because it's funny how he did that and then Vince McMahon owner and the Vince Stone Cold storyline then built from Bret being screwed over.
Yeah.
And that is one of the main things that won him the Monday Night Wars.
Yeah, I think that came a bit after because obviously they weren't gonna do the Bret Hart thing because he's out of it now.
Yeah,
and I don't think he wanted another Alundra Blaze into the...
No, yeah, they've always said that, haven't they?
And I watched that as well. I remember watching that with my dad live, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
So I didn't ask you this at the beginning. Actually, was you as a kid then? Was you WCW or WWF?
I used to watch it, right? I don't know how, but we used to get like cable.
Right.
We used to get wrestling. We had like a little box in this windowsill, and I remember on a when was it? A Thursday or a Friday? My dad used to say, "Right, turn it to J," and I used to switch to the little dial that's on this box, turn it to J, and we used to watch wrestling. It was WCCW.
WCCW, Jesus Christ.
That's my early memories. I remember watching WrestleMania 3.
Yeah.
that's my first WrestleMania that I ever watched.
Jesus. My actual first WrestleMania I ever watched was actually WrestleMania 6, Hogan versus Warrior. And then I went back, do you know what I mean? My mum and dad was a bit sort of like, they was really cool, but they was a bit strict because I was getting into trouble at school, so they didn't want to entice me. But then I watched WrestleMania 6, and then, like say, went back and saw all the others before it and everything. But yeah, here's one for you: Hogan or Warrior?
I was torn between the two.
Really?
I was a massive Warrior fan, and at the same time, I was just as big as a Hogan fan.
Okay, so Flair or Sting?
It was always Sting for me. I hated Flair. Looking back now, if I knew what I knew then, I'd probably say Flair.
Yeah,
but
just to give it a woo.
Yeah, but I was always like, ah!
Oh, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Rock or Austin?
It was Austin. I grew up with the Attitude Era. I was the rebel trying to go against everything. Cowboys or Indians? I were Indians.
Yeah. Pretty much the best way to be. Listen, if you can't be bad and have fun, don't bother being good and have fun.
Exactly. So,
who else? Edge and Christian, Dudleys or Hardy Boys?
Oh, Dudleys.
Really?
Dudleys.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I love the Dudleys massively, but I was always Hardys.
See, I like the Hardys, but I thought they were too pretty boy.
I see. That was during my teen rock skater boy phase.
Yeah, no, I was pretty much the same thing. I was like going down a massive hill on my skateboards and like everything else, and it was for me. It was always the Dudleys. I don't know, because I was a big lad.
Yeah.
I felt more attached to the bigger wrestlers.
Right, fair.
Like Blue Meanie.
God. Oh, Bastion Booger.
But yeah. but maybe not.
Lita or Trish?
Lita.
Hell yeah.
Lita all the time.
Yeah.
I think what did it for me? Trish was too prim and proper.
Barbie doll.
I like the rock chick. I still kind of do like the rock chick.
I'm just going to see this hand in the back of your head in a minute. Go,
she's not in.
Oh, you're safe then. Who else can we ask you? Undertaker or Kane?
Undertaker.
Thank God for that. I was about to if you'd have said Kane. Who else could we? NWO or DX?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Oh, not for me. There's only one. Go on.
I'd have to say DX. For the fact that I felt they were more edgy.
Yeah.
And
I thought the NWO got boring as well.
Yeah.
And for me, that's what killed WCW, because they didn't change the storyline. They didn't disband them. They were still there at the end of the show when they got bought out.
Yeah.
So, and I wasn't a fan of
Bischoff and his contract that he
well, yeah, the ironclad contracts have guaranteed, even if that's why none of them went and did the, they always said that's why none of them went and did the invasion storyline with Vince, because they could sit at home and earn money. You're all right, dude. You've gone a bit blurry.
Sorry, yeah. Oh, wow. Hello.
He's there somewhere, folks. I promise you. Right, anyway. Andy's back. So let's finish off before we touch on what's going to happen next. Roman AJ. Mark it out of 10 first.
I'd have to say an 8.
Right. I'd have said 6 or 7, but yeah. So
I'm being generous.
I think the second half of the match and the ending is probably what bumped the score up.
Yeah.
Because I think until somebody went through that first table, match was kind of like.
Yeah, when AJ went through, he backdropped him through the table.
That was it. Yeah, then it sort of picked up. Then after that, now here's the thing though. The crowd hates Roman Reigns. Hated him.
He's boring.
Well, I know, but it was like, they were chanting Roman sucks. Then he puts AJ through the table, but then he puts...
You still suck.
Yeah, they were chanting, you still suck. And it got that all night. And to be honest, I felt a bit sorry for Roman. I really did.
What they need to do? They need to do what they did to the Rock. They need to say, right, okay, we're turning you heel. Here's the mic. Get all your frustrations out.
Yeah, do a Rock CM Punk sort of thing.
Yeah.
He can stand in the middle of the ring and say, look, I'm here working my ass off, and you guys are booing me. Do you know what? Have some of that.
Yeah.
I
don't know if it'd do him any good.
Well, at least they could boo him for a reason.
Exactly. Because at the moment, no one's invested in him.
No.
To me, he's just another John Cena. Don't get me wrong, I like John Cena for the fact my kids love him. Right?
Yeah.
But apart from that...
I've always said with John Cena, what he does off camera...
Oh, yeah.
...with the kids, honestly, I can't say enough about the guy.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact is, it's not the fact that he's that bad of a wrestler. He is a poor wrestler. But it's the same boring gimmicks, with the same boring promos, with the same boring music, with the same boring conversations. That's Cena's problem. He's not kept himself, A, relevant, and B, interesting.
Mm.
And I think that's the thing with Roman as well, is Roman has still got the Shield look, the Shield music.
Yeah.
People don't like it.
I think it's more of he's no good on the mic.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
He's not overly... He's okay at selling, but I feel like when he comes back, he's another Cena.
Yeah.
6 or 7 moves in the bag in...
Yeah. Well, I think they've nicknamed it Roman 7 moves, something like that. It was seen as 5 moves and Roman 7 moves. I'm sure it is something like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, there was no way Roman was ever going to drop the title. Although a few times I did actually think, hey, up, he's won this, HA.
Yeah.
There were a couple of times, I must admit, I
I
thought,
was
hey,
like, oh, they're actually going to go with it.
yeah,
And
when he...
I was hoping that they would, because obviously he's new to the company, and then they're not going to do it for that reason.
Yeah.
But I thought, do you know what? They're gonna give it. They're gonna
When he hit that Styles Clash on the chair, I actually thought that was it.
Yeah, me too. I was like, he's done it. He has done it.
And there's not many times that they fool me by thinking he's done that. I generally... It was the same with the IC match, though. There was a few times I thought, oh, Zayn's got it. Oh, Cesaro's got it. You know, and it really got me in there. And it really...
That's why I like that match, because it kept you on the edge of your seat.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, oh, one of them's definitely got it, and Miz is going home with, like, what's her name?
Exactly. Maurice or something. the French woman who was interesting when she first come in, and now she adds nothing. Yeah. But anyway, Roman wins it, which we all knew. Crowd booing. And then all I saw in the background was fans pointing, going, and then they started jumping, and I'm going, what? And there he was. The God. The man. Thank you, Rollins. Yeah. We have the return of Seth Rollins. Dude, was you bouncing as much as me?
I was. I literally was. I was like, oh my God. I was like led down watching the match. It finished. He comes out. I'm sat up at this point. I'm watching it on my iPad. It's like on like a little bedside table. I'm sat up. I'm like, oh my God.
I was like, bearing in mind, I'm being quiet because Sarah's asleep. I'm going,
I actually, I finished watching it about 4:30 in the morning, because for some reason, it like rewound itself.
Really?
Yeah. It like rewound itself, and I was like, I had to watch another half an hour of the Intercontinental Championship, which I wasn't really sad about.
Yeah, you ain't upset about that, for a guess.
But yeah, 4:30, I was like, oh God, I'm knackered.
I just was watching it till 4:30 just because I was that buzzing for seeing Rollins, I couldn't sleep.
Yeah, that too. Right, I was feeling knackered, and then he comes out, and I'm like,
I'm wide awake! Oh dear. But so obviously now he's going to be Seth versus Roman. We're going to find out tonight what's going to happen. Tune in on the next show, because I'll tell you. But yeah. So obviously now, bearing in mind, Rollins was originally due to drop it to Roman, I think, at the Survivor Series anyway.
Right.
Allegedly. I mean, we didn't obviously find out because of, you know, what happened, but I read that Rollins was due to drop it, but then it was going to set up a Shield triple threat match of Ambrose, Rollins, and Reigns at WrestleMania, but obviously because of the Rollins injury, that all got scrapped. But I'm excited to see that now.
Maybe we've got a Money in the Bank thing coming up with that.
Well, Money in the Bank's the next pay-per-view. Let's go on.
Money in the Bank, sorry. It'd be... What's the one after?
I'm not sure, because I think they've changed a few around again this year.
Yeah. That's what I mean. I'm lost. But, yeah.
I'm assuming they're going to fight at Money in the Bank anyway.
You could be right. I would love to see, like, a Shield battle for the belt.
I wouldn't be surprised if they put that as either SummerSlam or next year's Mania.
I don't think they'll be able to drag that on for a year, though.
Maybe if Roman takes a break and gets out the scene, and they could repackage him.
They need to do something with him.
They've got to repackage him. Simple as.
I'll send him back down to NXT.
Well, I would, but they're not going to, let's be honest. But so Money in the Bank's the next one. Now, my predictions for who's going to be in the Money in the Bank, I was thinking about it. They're obviously going to put a couple of small-timers in there, probably like Kalisto or Sin Cara or something. But I'm going to say Owens, Corbin, Cena, because I can't see what else they're going to do with him. Probably Ziggler. Maybe Zayn, purely because they're putting Owens in there.
Yeah.
And Ambrose. Or Wyatt.
Ooh, Wyatt.
I think Owens and Wyatt's a very good call this year.
Yeah. I like that. I like the sound of that.
See, now, as much as I like Owens, I am a Wyatt family. I follow the buzzards. I just think Bray Wyatt's easily could be. I know it's hard. It's harsh to put it like this, but I think he could do it. I could see him being the next Undertaker.
Yeah, I really could. Especially after the match he had with the Undertaker.
Yeah.
And they was trying to do the mind game thing and backwards and forwards, and I was like, I thought maybe the Undertaker, he ain't getting any younger.
Yeah.
And maybe he's gonna step up and be the next.
The rumours are with the Undertaker, when he decides to call it a day, he's being retired at WrestleMania by John Cena.
Oh my God.
That's always been the rumour. A lot of people believe that it was due to be Kane. A lot believe it's a few others, but my brother's always said he's read to say that Cena's the one to retire the Undertaker. Although I don't know why, because what does he need that in his career for?
Yeah. And it's going to be pretty pointless now because Brock Lesnar already took the fucking...
They should have retired him when the streak ended, in all honesty.
Yeah. In fairness, yeah.
But then, to be fair, I'm a nostalgist. I'd have never have ended the streak. I'd have put it down in folklore, let him finish, bring him back in a few years' time, maybe as a bit of an older guy, but then give it a younger guy like a Roman or a Rollins or an Ambrose or an Owens or, I'd have done that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
I don't believe they should have ended the streak.
No.
I thought it was because he on the last F5, I think it was the last F5, he literally landed on his head.
Yeah, well, he collapsed on his way back into the backstage, didn't he?
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
I heard that.
But no, I don't. I understand why they did it with regards building Brock up, because they wanted to make him the Beast. Now, here's a theory I've always had with Brock. Brock and Taker was extremely close when Brock first came in.
Mm-hmm.
They were Taker took him under his wing, looked after him a lot. And I always believed that. Well, Taker once said in an interview, and I'm going back years now, and I mean some years, he'd always said he knew who was going to end the streak. He'd been handpicked by The Undertaker, and he will decide when the streak will end. Now, have you ever seen the clip where Brock was in UFC, and I think he was either just finishing a match or just gone to a match?
I've seen that.
And Taker grabbed his arm, didn't he, and said, "Do you want some of this?"
Yeah, you walked past, Brock was walking past, and The Undertaker, stared him out.
Yeah.
And he turned around and said, you want to go?
Yeah. And I always believed that was Taker's way of getting Brock to come back to say, right, I've had enough now, I'm going to end the streak.
Yeah, I think that exact same thing. I honestly do. I was like, well, you don't see The Undertaker at a UFC match, and yet then he does this.
Yeah. See, a lot of the conspiracies was that him and Taker fell out. There was a rumor that Heyman had caused a rift between Brock and Taker, and they'd not spoke for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But I always believed that was BS. And that's like I say, I think Brock wanted to do his own thing, and Taker had said to him, "Well, you've got to come back at some point because you're the man to end the streak." And I always believed that's what that was.
You could be spot on there. I mean, like I said, that it was just weird.
Yeah.
How all that came about. You don't see Undertaker at an MMA match.
Oh, no, definitely not.
He dresses with the gloves and that's about it. He pulls out a couple of submission moves. Sorry. I want to go back to the women's match.
Oh, right, yeah.
I've got it written down here, and I forgot to bring it up.
Oh, go on.
What was the name of the show?
Extreme Rules.
Extreme Rules. Okay, right. So, Extreme
You're
Rules
about to ask if we can sue them for false advertisement, aren't you?
Right. What was Extreme about? That was just a normal match.
Well, it was a sub-match, weren't it?
Yeah, a sub-match in Extreme Rules, which should not...
You never see women's cage matches, do you?
Yeah, they're scared of making them bleed, aren't they?
Yeah, true. Oh.
Who wants to be interested in the chick with scars all over her face?
Christ. But no, you're absolutely right.
I think, didn't Lita do a cage match?
Did she?
I'm sure I remember seeing Lita on top of a cage sometime.
I'm not sure. That could have been when she was either with Edge or with Kane.
I'll have to look into that.
Google. We'll have to Google.
Yeah.
Right. Let's call this a day. So anyway, Steve, thank you very much for being on, dude.
It's been for bringing me here.
Dude, you're always welcome, and we're definitely going to have to do this again soon.
Definitely.
I hope other people are watching this and thinking, oh, let's get on and check this, good laugh. We do have a good laugh. But anyway, Steve, I will check you in your streams or my streams or Cornish's streams soon. Thank you very much for being awesome, dude. I love you loads. I'll speak to you later.
Thank you, brother.
Let's toodles. So anyway, to everybody who has watched all this video, I do hope you've enjoyed it. I do hope you give me a thumbs up. I do hope you'll share, and more importantly, I hope you sub. Don't forget, you can check me out on all these platforms: on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. I am Moobs Like Jabber. On Twitch TV, I'm Moobs Like Jabber Xbox One. Please come and hang out with us. Come and have some fun with us. Don't forget, if you want to be on the show, all you got to do is find me on Twitter, DM me, and we'll sort something out. So thank you very much for watching. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you tomorrow with the next podcast because it's Raw tonight, and I can't wait because Rollins is back. See you soon.